Hey guys, it's Gus, and Celestial Mount and Insignias are coming. We don't know exactly when. They're saying it's going to be when Module 32.5 or the interlude or whatever you want to call it comes, and that's going to probably be in March. So maybe a month from now. We don't know, but it's coming. And people are already preparing about it. So I have 2 pages of notes here about stuff I've written down about the upgrades if you want to stay with me and while I go over them. So a couple caveats. This is the current values on the preview server. Stuff can change. So keep that in mind. Whatever we talk about now might be different a month from now. Also, I did not go on preview and get this. I got it from Bomber. He is a PlayStation, Xbox, and PC player. Thank you for writing those notes for us, Bomber. Um, I trust his numbers more than if I was looking at the preview server. So I'm pretty sure they're spot on. But that is a chance of human error when going through there. All right. So, mounts. Currently, if you want to get a mount that's green quality and upgrade it to uncommon, it's going to cost you 50 mount tokens. And if you have a rare mount and you want to upgrade it to legendary, it's going to cost you 100 mount tokens. And if you have an epic mount and you want to upgrade it to legendary, it's going to cost you 150 mount tokens. And if you have a legendary mount and you want to upgrade it to mythic, it's going to cost you 500 or 200 mount tokens. So right now, currently on live, if you want to take a mount from uncommon to mythic, it's going to cost you exactly 500 mount tokens. And generally, a lot of players are striving to have 10 so they get the full bolster. So altogether, on live today, if you want to go take 10 mounts from uncommon to mythic, all 10 of them, it's going to cost you 5,000 mount tokens. Well, with the Celestials, they're making a big change to that. What they're showing on the preview server, if you want to go from uncommon to epic, it's going to cost you 10 mount tokens. Or I'm sorry, uncommon to rare. And if you want to go from rare to epic, it's going to cost you 100 mount tokens. And from epic to legendary, it's going to cost you 100 mount tokens. And if you want to go from legendary to mythic, it's going to cost you 150 mount tokens. So when they make the change, if you want to go from uncommon to mythic mount, it's going to cost you 310 tokens, which is drastically less than the current 500 tokens, which is great for new players. It kind of stinks for the vets because a lot of the vets they have account wide mythic mounts so they can play on multiple characters and not worry about their bolster. uh, but with the new cost to go from mythic to celestial, it's going to be 200 mount tokens. So to take a mount from uncommon to celestial when this new module comes, it's going to cost 510 tokens, which is way better than the 500 tokens it takes to go to Mythic. So players that join now that are building all the way up from scratch are only going to need 310 mount tokens to get to Mythic, as opposed to right now where they need 500 tokens. If you want to go to Celestial, which is probably ultimately everybody's goal, it's going to cost you 10 extra tokens altogether. So the mount tokens, we're getting a way bigger boost for very, very little upgrade cost altogether. Now, if you currently have Celestials and you have 10 Celestials, I'm sorry, 10 Mythic mounts, and your goal is to upgrade all 10 of them to Celestial day one, it's going to cost you 2,000 mount tokens. It's going to be 200 tokens per mount. Now let's talk about insignias. Currently, insignias, if you want to go from common, or I'm sorry, uncommon to rare, it's going to cost you 20 insignia powder. And if you want to go from rare, if If you want to upgrade these rares to epic, it's going to cost you 100 insignia powder. And if you have an epic and you want to upgrade your epic, or yeah, epic to legendary, it's going to cost you 200. I'm sorry, 20. Sorry, I got my 20. It's going to cost you 500. If you want to go to legendary, it's going to epic to legendary. It's going to cost you 500 tokens. And if you're at legendary and you want to upgrade your legendary to mythic, it's going to cost you 2,500. Not mount tokens. I'm sorry, insignia powder. So altogether, to go from an uncommon to mythic, it's going to cost you 3,120 powder. And if you multiply that by 20, you're talking over 62,000 insignia powder. You need to, if you're starting off from scratch and you're trying to get 10 celestial or 20 mythic insignias. That's going to be drastically reduced when the new module, when module 20, I don't even want to call it new module, when the update comes. So when the new update comes, if you're at uncommon and you want to update it to rare, it's going to cost you 10 insignia powder as opposed to 20. And um, if you're at rare and you want to go to epic purple quality, it's going to cost you 50, which is much better than the current 100. And if you want to go from epic to legendary, if you want to upgrade these epics to legendary, it's going to cost you 250 powder as opposed to 500 that it previously was or currently is. And if you want to go from legendary to mythic, it's going to cost you 1,250 powder. Currently on live, it costs 2,500 powder to go from legendary to mythic. So right now on live, if you want to take this insignia that's an uncommon quality and get it up to mythic quality, it's going to cost you 3,120 powder, which is a lot, because you multiply that by 20 and you're paying a ton. Sorry if I'm all over the place. My handwriting is really bad. Hopefully I'm not getting the numbers mixed up with the mounts. So in the update that's coming, instead of costing 3,120 powder, a new player joining with 20 uncommons um, can get to mythic on all 20 of them for 1,560 powder each, which is half the cost. So new players that are just joining can get 20 mythic insignias for literally half the dust that it costs now. So this is great for newer players coming in who are trying to catch up. Not so much for the vets who currently have them. So again, the cost on live to get one mythic currently is 3,120 powder, insignia powder. When the new update comes out, it goes from 3,120 to 1,560, literally half. So to recap the mount tokens and insignia powder, right now it costs 5,000 tokens to get 10 mythic mounts. When the new update comes, it's going to cost 5,100 tokens to get 10 celestial mounts. So only 100 extra tokens for them to upgrade everything. That's huge. Right now, it costs you 62,400 powder to get 20 mythic insignias. With the update, it's going to cost 31,200 powder for 20 mythic insignias. But with the update that we're getting is we're going to be able to upgrade these mythic insignias to celestial. The celestial upgrade is going to be 2,500 powder. So if you add that 2,500 powder times 20 plus the current cost to get 20 celestial insignias, it will cost you 81,200 insignia powder, which is a lot. But comparatively, it's actually much less than it was previous, than it currently is. So right now, you have to spend 6.24 powder to get one item level increase. If you take the cost of all the powder and divide it by the item level you get, the 500 item level you get from a legend mythic insignia, you're going to spend 6.24 powder for one item level. With this update, that's going to be reduced to 5.41 powder for one item level increase. So for every 5.41 powder you spend when the new update comes, you're going to get a one item level increase on your tune on average. So yeah, we're getting a lot bigger bang for our buck with this update, and it's going to make it a lot easier for newer players to catch up. Well, it's still going to take a long time to get the Celestial because instead of having a total dust to get, right now you can max out all your mythic insignias for 62,400 powder. With the new update, it's going to cost 81,200 powder for a brand new player to get to Celestial, but they're going to get more out of that powder than they would currently. Now, where the big stinker is for current players who are maxed out. If you're a player who's currently maxed out, it's going to cost you 50,000 powder to take your current mythics to Celestial. Yeah, it's a big jump. So to get to mythic, it's way less of a cost, but to get to that final push, it's going to cost you a lot more. Um, which is, I don't know. It remains to be seen in the future if we're going to need Celestials just to complete the content, or if staying at Mythic will be just fine. What I do know is this is going to be a drastic boost for currently maxed out players when they get Celestials. The currently existing content will be much, much easier, like MSOD, MSH, all the previous dungeons. What for me personally, what this is going to help me do is I don't have any reason to run any dungeon right now except to help players. And a lot of times when you're helping players get through the content, one or many times more than one of those players will not be able to pull their own weight. And because of how much more extra damage we're going to be able to do as a DPS, it will help get those players through. And I know not everybody likes to do that. Some people believe we shouldn't do that. Well, that's not how I believe. I want to help people get through content because I think the more people who are running content, gearing up, the more players we'll have active in the game, which is really healthy for a big population. So I'll run with anybody. And the stronger I am, the more I'll be able to help people who aren't caught up yet to get through that content. Now, let's talk about the cost. So what I did is I wanted to see what's better. What's the best way to get insignia powder besides farming it? Because you can farm insignia powder, right? I already showed this in a previous video, but I'm okay on insignia powder. I have the 100,000 just in my shared bank. I have a tons more outside my shared bank, but you can't have more than 100,000. So 50,000 of that will be used to upgrade my current legendary insignias to celestial. So I have plenty. Where did I get all that from? I got it from the summer festival. And if you want to get if you want to get this amount of powder from the summer festival, you have to start today because you need as many characters as you can make. And I believe if you get them up to I think level 1 characters can get into the summer festival. And it's not going to actually take that much time. Once you get them in the summer festival, all you're going to be doing is crafting petals. So you want to work on your workshop too if you can. But really, whatever artisans you have, it's very minimal cost, the copper cost. And so the more characters you have, the more pinatas you're going to get. And the more pinatas you get, the more dust you're going to get. And I just did a video on using all those Prez words I got the um, from the summer festival, showing how much just those preservation awards we're making. Yeah, the summer festival is crazy. I know a lot of people will go crazy during the Jubilee that happens first, second week in June, which is great. It's great for one character. And you're going to get a lot of dust, but you're going to make a lot more dust and AD and other resources during the summer festival, but it's going to require a lot more tunes. The Jubilee is great because you can just have one tune. You having more than one character will not help you uh, in the Jubilee unless you have two different accounts going at once, which I don't think is allowed. So I'm not going to go there. Um, so what I did is I wanted to see what's the best way to buy insignia powder, and I only did two ways. The two ways I looked up were trade bars, because you can get insignia powder from here or any of these in the trade bar store. Uh, Insignia powder or insignias, the best bang for your buck is getting insignia powder, not the epic insignias. The reason being is so I did the math, assuming you're taking advantage of the 20% off. So if you look at the calendar, we have an upcoming event, trade bar discount, first week of March. So I have a feeling most savvy players that are going to try to maximize the return on their resources are going to take advantage of this event. So these figures I have are assuming the trade bar store, you're taking advantage of the discounts that are coming up in 3 weeks. So you're going to go here. And what I did is if you do the 20 insignia powder, and it's not going to cost 30 trade bars. 20% off will bring that down to 24 trade bars. So if you're using the sale, you're going to spend 1.2 trade bars for one powder. So 1.2 trade bars for one powder. If you get the epic insignias that will cost 60, or I'm sorry, 20 will cost 60 during the event, you're going to get. Oh, you know what? I did 80 trade bars. No, it is. I'm sorry. It's going to be 80 trade bars. 20% off 100 will bring it down to 80 trade bars. It will cost 1.6 trade bars for one powder. And 1.6 is way more than 1.2. So you're going to get more out of this. And you could, if you didn't know, when you break down an insignia to get insignia powder, you can crit. And I believe it's a 20% chance to crit. It might be 24, but I believe it's 20% chance to crit. But when you crit, you get 50% more powder. So instead of this giving 50 powder, it would give you 75 powder. But it only happens 1 out of 5 times. So really, it's a 10%. If you're doing it over the long haul, assuming it's a 20% crit rate, you're going to get 10% more powder over the long run. But I'm not even counting that in there. And that's the insignia powder. This one still comes out ahead of this one. Okay, so if you're going to spend trade bars, you're going to want to get the 20 insignia powder instead of the epic insignias. You'll be getting more bang for your trade bars. Now, how do you get trade bars? Well, you can farm them, which takes a long time, or you can buy them in the event that's coming up. So you come here to the calendar, and at the exact same time, they have the astral caskets. So it comes in 2 weeks and 2 days, guys. So just over 2 weeks. So these will cost 60,000, assuming you're a VIP 12. So when I did the math on this, I assumed 60K per. When I open these, I almost always average about 45 trade bars. So you're spending 60,000 AD to get 45 trade bars. And I did not include in that all the other stuff we get. Like you can get legendary insignias. You can get unbound mounts that are worth like 2 million, right? I'm not counting any of that. I'm just only going with the trade bars. Uh, Even if you get lucky, fast forward, you're not going to want to get Astro lock boxes, guys. The reason being is, well, you can do astrolock boxes, but it won't be the most efficient. I'll show you a more efficient way, but that could change. So if you get 45 trade bars per astrolock box that costs you 60,000 AD, one Astro Lockbox will get you 37.5 insignia powder per Astro Lockbox. If you take the 45 trade bars on average that you're going to get, it's going to come out to be almost two of these, right? So you're going to get 45 trade bar, I'm sorry, 37 insignia powder per Astro lockbox. So if you spend 60,000 on an Astro lockbox and you get 37.5 insignia powder, that comes out to be 1,680 per insignia powder. And 1,680 per insignia powder, when you're trying to get 50,000 insignia powder, assuming you're trying to go from mythic to celestial, is gonna be a shitload of AD, guys. uh, a lot. So the other way I looked at, so if you get Astro lock boxes during the sale and you average 45 trade bars and you buy these during the trade bar sale, it's going to cost you 1,600 AD per powder. The other thing I did, and this is very sub change, if you go to Insignia, these, oh, that one's low. Rip. So I did my math on this about 2 hours ago, and at the time, the cheapest Epic Insignia was for 34,000, and there was a bunch of them. So when I did the math on this, it was at 34,000 80 per Epic Insignia. Obviously these prices are going like crazy. People are buying these up by the hundreds and listing them by the hundreds. And until this update comes out, expect drastic price fluctuations. But right now, currently, it's 35,000 AD per Epic Insignia. But when I did the math on this, I did it at 34,000 AD per Insignia. If you buy one of these for 34,000, you're going to get 50 insignia powder out of this. So for 50 insignia powder, you're spending 6,000 or sorry, 680 AD per insignia powder. 680 AD per insignia powder is way better than the 1,680 per insignia powder that you get from the Astro lockbox. So these prices right here would have to nearly triple. I'm sorry, go up at least, even if they doubled and these go up from 34,000 to 68,000, you're still better off doing Epic Insignias than you are doing the Astro lock boxes. 5 more minutes, guys. I got my kiddos here. They got a sleepover. Sorry about that. So again, to reiterate, Astro lock boxes is a way, and even if you take advantage of the Astro lock boxes during the sale and use those trade bars during the sale, you're going to be paying way more per insignia powder than you will be if you get an Epic Insignia. Now, what should you buy? Epic, rare, legendary? Well, it just depends what you're seeing. Chances are the cheapest is probably to do uncommon at the current prices, but you need it if you buy 25 of these, you will get 50 insignia powder, right? 25, let me get the calculator. 25 times 1,300 means I will get just as much insignia powder from 25 of these as I would from one epic, and that would cost 32,500 as opposed to the 34,080 price. The problem is you would need to buy hundreds and hundreds of these. It would take forever to buy them all. It would take forever to empty your mailbox all, and it would take up all your inventory. So that's not really feasible. But currently, at the current prices on PlayStation 4, as of filming this, these are a little bit better deal at 1,300. And at rare, you're going to get 10 insignia powder as opposed to two. So if you can get one of these blues for less than 5 times 1,300, less than 6,500 AD, it would be a better deal than green. And look, it is. So right now, you're better off buying blues than you are green at this exact moment. Now, if you buy, these will give you 10 insignia powder as opposed to the epics that will give you 50. So if you could, it would take 5 blues to equal 1 purple. So 5 blues would be 30,000, which means blues are a better deal than epics. But as if you notice, these just got listed and they go to 7,000 just minutes ago. So the prices are fluctuating. I was looking at epics. So right now it doesn't really matter. The epics are you might get a better deal on blue or green quality, but you're gonna have to buy so many of them. Now, what should you buy, epic or legendary? Remember, 5 epics will give you 5 powder or 50 powder. One legendary will get you 250 powder. So 5 epics is equal to one legendary, not accounting for critical chances. So 5 of these would be 150, 175,000. It would take 5 epics, would cost you 175,000, and it would give you as much dust as one legendary. And look at 184,000. Again, these just got listed within the last minute or two. So at this exact moment, you're better off buying epics than legendary. But these prices fluctuate so much. Again, these prices could double, and you're still better off buying these as opposed to Astro lock boxes. Now, the thing with Astro lock boxes is you're not just getting trade bars in there, but that's the main purpose for buying them is for the trade bars, right? Chances are you're going to get them for the trade bars to buy the mount upgrade tokens. This is one of the best ways because those go from a cost of 3 tokens, 3 trade bars to 2 trade bars per mount token. So that's probably gonna be the best way to get your mount tokens is during Astro lock boxes. Okay, let's see now. And they're gonna have an additional cost. They have a 50% chance to upgrade. So when you go to upgrade it, if you do not put a Prez ward in there, and you go to upgrade, you have a 50% chance of it being unsuccessful and you'll lose your reagent, which is your 2,500 powder. So you're going to protect that powder with one preservation ward. And if it's a success and not a failure, you're going to get that preservation ward back. So if you're going to do 20 of these, you're probably going to spend on average a whopping 20 pres wards on all 20 upgrades. So if you are trying to prepare for this, you are going to want a few Prez awards. But if you are a player who currently has 20 mythic insignias, there's a very good chance on all your characters you have 20 Prez awards floating around. Okay, what is the overall cost? Well, if you get these, and when I did the math, I did it at 34,000. I know they're 35,000 right now, right? But if you these give you 50 insignia or 50 powder. Well, you need 50,000 powder if your plan is to upgrade to celestial day one. 50,000 divided by the 50 powder you get here is you'll need 1,000 epic insignias. So you multiply 1,000 epic insignias times 34,000. And that comes out to be 1,000 times, wait a sec, 50, 34. Oh, I did plus. So you need 1,000 insignias times 34,000. It will cost 34 million. But really it's going to cost closer to 30 million, assuming you got it at the 34K price, because you're going to crit a lot. And assuming you're going to get 10% of your powder back, I'm going to lower the cost by 10%, which brings it right down to about 30 million, assuming you have no powder and you buy 1,000 epic insignias to do it. Now, if you were going to do the astral lockbox method, you would need, I wrote that 1,666.7 astral lockboxes, which is exactly 100 million AD. So if you ask me if I was going to figure out which way I was going to get the 50,000 insignia powder, and I had to choose between buying them with trade bars or buying them from the auction house, I would rather spend 30 million in the auction house as opposed to 100 million doing the astro lock boxes. All right, so recapping everything. This is great. I mean, this isn't great. This is amazing for new players. A brand new player right now coming to the game can get to Mythic Bolster for 3,100 mount tokens as opposed to today where it's going to cost you 5,000 mount tokens to get to Mythic. For upgrading to Celestial, it's only going to be 100, or I'm sorry, 100 more powder or tokens. But what's misleading about that is that's per tune. And what's misleading about that is that's if assuming you come up from uncommon quality to mythic quality to celestial. Most of you already have, not most of you, a lot of you watching this video probably already have your mount bolster maxed. So to upgrade your mount bolster on each one, it's going to cost you 200 more. So it's going to cost you 2,000 mount tokens to upgrade your current 10 legendary to, or sorry, current 10 current mythics to celestial per character because there's really no celestial account wide mounts yet. But you know they're coming, guys. We know those are coming, but a lot of people can't wait for them to come. They want it right now, today. And also for new players, if you started today and you wanted to get 20 insignias to mythic, it will only cost you 1,560 insignia powder per insignia, as opposed to today, where it costs you 3,120 insignia powder to get to mythic. But if you currently have 10 myth or 20 mythics and you want to get to 20 celestials day one, it's going to cost you 50,000. Woo boy. Also, as a side note, on preview, whatever you convert your insignia powder to right now, like if you convert a green quality, you'll get 2 powder. When mod 32.5 update comes, you're going to get 2 powder as well. That holds true all the way to legendary, except mythic. Mythic right now will give you 1,250 powder. That's being cut on preview currently. You're only going to get 625 powder. So celestial or mythic upgrades, mythic being turned into powder on preview is half the value that it is currently right now. So a lot of people, if this holds true, don't do it yet because you need those insignias to run the content you're running, and it's subject to change. Chances are, if you are going to convert any of your excess or spare celestial or mythic insignias, you're going to want to do it before the update. Okay. And actually, so it's so hard to say what to do about that. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'm probably just going to sell any excess I have in the auction house because I have all the powder I need. So I'm just probably going to go for the AD. But whatever I do, I'll probably stream it. So, I practice what I preach. Um, to, so for new players, this is going to be amazing, guys. Like really, really amazing. For people who just hit Mythic like last week, they're going to be pissed because they just finally got there. They finally got across that hurdle, and now they got to get more. Um, the item level increase we're getting per powder, we're going to be in a better off spot than we are right now. You got to spend 6.2 powder right now, currently on live, to get one item level increase. And then when this new update comes, you're going to spend 5.1, 5.4 powder to get one item level increase. So we're getting better bang for our buck. I know this isn't following the normal process because an epic is 100 item level, right? Well, let me show you this. Right now, a blue is 50 item level. When you go to epic, it doubles to 100. So it went from 50 to 100. And when you go to legendary, it goes from 100 to 200. So it doubles. And when you go to legendary, it goes from 100 to 200 all the way to 500. So this is an increase of 250% item level. So it made the pill to swallow to get these mythic insignias so much better because you got way more out of it. But it cost a fortune to do that. So overall, though, to get to celestial, it's going to cost less powder for the item level gain we're getting. If they followed the suit of legendary to mythic of a 250% increase, a celestial would be 1,250 item level, but it's not. It's going to be 750 item level. Okay, so it's not following that path. We're not getting the biggest bang for our buck on that specific upgrade. But overall, we're going to be spending less powder for more item level. If I horribly messed up on my math, please comment below so I can remove this video so nobody can watch it. If I made a horrible computation and I completely missed the boat on something, please tell me so I can take this down. But this is what I got for now, guys. If I wanted to say to do anything, watch the auction house like a hawk because people are listing insignias. The price is all over the place, but a lot of people are listing for whatever the auction house is recommending them to list for. So they're listing them way lower. So if you see cheap insignias, get them, right? The cheapest one right now is 1 million. It's been 1 million for a couple days. But if you see one at 700,000, that's an automatic buy, right? Don't give a shit. What if it's an initiative or skill or brutality? Just get it while it's cheap. You can just sell it quickly. This stuff is selling instantly, guys. If you listed an insignia right now, legendary for 179,992, it'd be gone in probably 10 seconds or a minute or two. They sell quickly. And these epics, this is where I'm noticing that people are messing up the most. You see that? I just got that instead of 35,000, I paid 26,000. And the same with these 6,000. If I see them for like 4,000, I'll get them. But I'm you just if you've watched my channel any recently, I've been streaming a lot about buying and selling, and I'm really sick of that. I want to go back to running content again. Okay, here's what I've captured so far. Again, thank you. Shout out to Bomber. He's a PlayStation, Xbox, and PC player. He compiled the data from the preview server and shared it with us. I didn't ask him for permission to get his name a shout out, so apologize in advance for not letting you know, Bomber, but I had to get this done. And but I didn't want to do it without giving you credit. And then again, this is subject to change. We're currently still on preview. Any of this can change. Well, there you go. Stay class, Neverwinter. See you soon.